everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of NOIR TV. I'm one of your hosts, Demi Vaughn, and I'm the president of the Ball State chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists.
And I'm Joel Riley, co-host of NOIR TV and proud member of the NABJ chapter here at Ball State.
Joel, we have to talk about homecoming weekend this past weekend. There was a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Multicultural Center on Saturday, where the architectural rendering of the $4 million center was unveiled. The new multi-center will be located between NOIR Complex and the Miller College of Business. The center will feature amenities designed to assist and support all students and promote diversity and inclusion. The facility will be approximately 10,500 square feet.
That is absolutely amazing. I really can't wait to see it. And that's a really big improvement on Ball State's
really
part.
Is.
And before we get to that, we definitely have to talk about our homecoming game where Ball State won against Toledo 52-14.
Wow, that's a huge win for our Cardinals.
Absolutely. Speaking
of, we have a special guest joining us who is the starting corner of our football team, AJ Uzodinma.
Get yourself in the cold tub, make sure you get treatment, stay on top of that, pay attention to the schedule, because we got Port Atlantic right back here on this field next week. We gotta be better. We gotta be better. Every one of you guys know that, man. Every one of you guys know that. Be smart, make good decisions tonight. Look out for each other. Let's get the fight on. Win that.
Hello, AJ, and thank you for joining us tonight. Congratulations on your homecoming win.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. So tell us a little bit about the season so far, and what does this winning streak mean for you and your teammates?
Honestly, it means a lot for the team. Our season hasn't been as good as we planned it to the last. Well, I mean, I was here last year. It was my first year. It didn't go as we planned it, but it really means a lot. That it shows that we've been working hard and that it's finally starting to pay off for the team. And obviously, getting these wins is really crucial for us. So.
Yeah.
That's great. So, AJ, what are some of the things that the team does to keep the winning streak going?
Really, we just every game we just have the same mindset, just going 1-0 every week. After we beat Toledo, that's over with. We don't talk about that no more. Now we talk about Ohio this week. So really, just always keeping always having tunnel vision and always worry about the next game going forward. Don't backtrack.
Okay. So how do you, keep the team focused and keep yourself focused while remaining the confidence of playing well?
Really just being humble as a team and obviously we got a real good win, 52-14, but
yeah.
at the same time we got to stay humble and know that we were the team getting beat with 14 points of 52. So really just realizing that we got to keep working hard and that always just try to keep going up.
So how do you balance all of that, with school and football? Because I can imagine it must be really difficult doing all that traveling and keeping up with academics.
Yeah, for sure. It can get hard, but really we have a good support staff helping us with study tables and trying to get everything with our studies, and then also being able to perform on the field is a big thing. So just having that extra help really helps a lot, because I feel like if we was on our own, it would be kind of hard to kind of keep up with everything. So.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming out and joining us tonight, and good luck on the rest of the season.
All right. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome. We appreciate it. Tonight, we also have 3 more guests. Our next guest is Dr. Gabriel Tait, a professor of our very own journalism department. He'll be discussing details about his new book and the importance of diversity in the media.
Following that, our next 2 guests will feature our very first double interview on the show. Soon-to-be graduates Chari Foster and Briasha will share with us their experiences as Black women in the professional workplace and some of the harsh realities many have to face in the certain fields of work. We'll be right back after the break. And welcome back to NOIR TV. We have Dr. Gabriel Tait joining us. He's a professor in the journalism department here at Ball State.
Hello, Dr. Tait. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. So, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And, tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you here to start teaching at Ball State University?
Sure. So I spent 25 years as a photojournalist and war correspondent in part of my tenure working at the Detroit Free Press and the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Left the career, went to seminary. From seminary, started teaching photojournalism at Arkansas State University. And so after spending some time there and working with students in photojournalism, I saw this as a really good opportunity to come and teach diversity in media as well as photojournalism.
Cool.
Good. So Dr. Tait, how do you feel about the diversity in the media on Ball State's campus, and how do you think students should be able to help with bringing in more diversity onto our campus?
Yeah. So great question. One of the things that I think is diversity here on our campus, when you are at a primarily white institution, or PWI is what this is called, it takes on the culture of the intentionality of the institution. And so in Arkansas, while we had some great diversity programs there just were not the numbers, and there was not the faces. And so here, when you start looking at the intentionality of the university to bring in, recruit, and to maintain not only students but faculty and staff, it really does help build the brand of the institution of being committed to diversity.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you there. So I heard that you also have a book out. So could you tell us a little bit about your book and what brought you to publishing a book?
Yeah, so this was a joint project. It's called Narratives and Storytelling. And the book is, it looks at how do communities and segments of the population share their narratives. And so it is an edited volume with my co-editor, Tony DeMars, who's at the University of Texas A&M Commerce. And he had asked, hey, how can we do a project that really tries to get these diverse voices in? And so the book is broken down into 3 different segments. The first segment looks at kind of America and white populations and how their narratives come about. So it deals with the separation of religion, and it deals with the Trump era. And then you go into kind of the black press, which I think is really significant in terms of what you all are doing here. And then the third part gets into more of the international flavor. And so I have a chapter that deals with my research that I did in Liberia and West Africa.
Okay. And you have the book with you, right?
I do.
Do you mind showing us the book?
Sure. I was told to bring it, so there's the book. Here, I'll pass that over. The project was about 1.5 years, which is, it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
We see the book as being used in communication, and intercultural communication, as well as anthropology. The stories that are in there really do highlight the possibilities that come about when you are involving people that are generally in marginalized communities and trying to hear what they have to say.
Right. So is the process like, you know, publishing a book, is that long?
Yeah,
or?
there are a lot of checks and balances that go into publishing a book. With an edited volume, you have your, authors that are submitting their articles, and then you edit, and then you send them back for revisions. Right. and it's sometimes those times there where you actually lose time,
right?
Because people don't make deadlines, or we're swamped with life happening. But in this case, the end part was really fun in watching all of the pieces come together for the publication. And so this is my first edited volume, and I look forward to other projects.
So aside from the book, so we also heard that you're into photography as well. So tell us a little bit about that. What type of photography do you specialize in?
Yep, so I don't know if I really specialize in a type of photography as much as my focus is really how do we, or how do I identify stories. And so on tomorrow, I'm taking 2 students to Mississippi, where we will be spending 4 days photographing the Delta, looking at issues related to the land. And so for me, my work and how I challenge our students is that their images should always convey stories. And their pictures should work together to communicate important stories to people. And so the images must be impactful, it must be meaningful. So those are really the 2 pieces that I hang out with.
Well, Dr. Tait, thank you so much for coming and joining us this evening. We really appreciate you coming out and, telling us about yourself and diversity in media and your photography and your book. We wish you the best of luck while teaching here at Ball State University.
Great. Thank you very much. And to the both of you all, I commend you on your hard work in this program. It's very important for our Ball State community to hear your voices and to get a glimpse of what you're telling in terms of stories. So
thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, we have Ball State students Chari Foster and Briasha Moore discussing their personal experience in the workforce.
We'll have all that and more coming up right after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined now with Chari Foster and Briasha Moore.
Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for being with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
That's a good question. So we both are currently students at Ball State. I'm a marketing major.
Child development.
And it is both of our senior years, so whoop whoop.
Finally.
Okay, all right. Are you both graduating in December or will it be in May?
I'll be graduating in December.
And I'm May.
Got it.
Are you guys excited to graduate?
Oh, man.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so as women, what are some of the challenges you guys have faced in your professional lives?
Some of the challenges that I have faced, the biggest one is honestly just being Black. For example, I can go to an interview and it's just that fear of, oh, they're gonna assume that I'm this Black girl with an attitude. They're gonna assume that I'm this hood rat Black girl, like just straight assumptions. So like just prepping and getting myself more comfortable with.
It's okay. You can just keep going.
Cut that out and you go.
Yeah, so kind of going back off of what she was saying, so I'm a child development major, meaning I'm always working with kids, and that's such a women-populated career, so I really don't have any problems with that. But like she said, with being Black, definitely I don't want to be that Black girl with the attitude, or I don't want to be loud, obnoxious, so I'm always self-conscious of myself while working, I guess I can say. So
right.
What are some of your guys' goals for the future after you graduate?
Sorry. Oh, yeah, I have nowhere to speak.
Okay, for me personally, a goal of mine would be to find a job that's comfortable for me, because you can really work anywhere in your field that you're here for, but finding a job that I'm comfortable with, because I want to be a teacher. So I feel like if I find a job that not only the staff members are people I'm comfortable with, but making sure like the kids aren't, you know.
And to bounce off of what she was saying, basically just finding a position. It's hard. It's a lot more complicated being a Black woman, because it's like you have to figure out what works for you, for one. You have to figure out how people perceive you from another stance. And so it's like finding not only your personal comfort, but like finding that area that's also comfortable with you around them. So.
Okay.
Good.
So what challenges do you think we as Black women face in the world today?
Well, I've worked food industry for about 5 years now, so I understand that the companies will prefer that their staff not have their hair shoulder length, all in the way. My hair wasn't shoulder length, it wasn't in the way, yet I was told to pull my hair back. So just dealing with little things like that, or weave, if you got your hair braided up, is an issue with, oh, if I pull it back and I have it in a ponytail, is that fine? I had an issue with that too, like, oh no, you have to pull it up. Okay, clearly I can't. This is weave, and it's curly, it's fine, it's twisted, it's okay. So.
I would say being Black and being a woman, right there. That's what we have going against us, because not only is it hard being Black in America, being a woman in America is hard, and being both of those things, it's like, it's tough, because it's like, for me personally, I feel like I'm always like on the spotlight. I'm always having to make sure, like, I'm not saying I don't want to carry myself well, but I feel like I always have to like do it times 30 because I'm Black and I'm a woman. So I like always have to make sure I'm good and I'm blending in with everything and everybody, because I'm not trying to, you know.
Those preset standards already for us before we can set a standard for ourselves. So.
Have you guys ever had any personal experiences with colorism?
A lot. It's been a broad kind of thing. I've dealt with random things. Like I work at a job where I do have predominantly white coworkers. I am the only Black coworker, and we get to play music. So some of my coworkers would play R&B and hip hop. There's an automatic assumption it's mine. Okay, cool. What else? I'll also have certain people come in and kind of stare at me and make me uncomfortable. There'll be situations where, say, I'm not smiling. Oh, and it's an automatic assumption that I have an attitude. Maybe I'm just focusing on my work. So, little things.
And then I guess for me, colorism. Recently, I can't really think of like, because when I think of colorism, I think of the whole like light skin versus dark skin. That's what I think of when I think of colorism. And as far as that, no, I haven't like recently, because I feel like being a dark-skinned girl has become a trend nowadays. So I feel like, you know, dark-skinned girls winning. So, like, recently, no, I haven't had anything as far as colorism goes in that aspect. But growing up, definitely, I can say being a dark-skinned woman.
Got it.
No, I definitely agree with that, too. I've had similar experiences with people just assuming that I'm wearing a wig or something crazy like that, all because, like, I'm darker complected, so.
Yeah, I've actually had friends who grew up and ended up hating the color of their skin simply off of what they heard growing up. So
it's sad.
Yeah. And then I went to a PWI growing up, so that means I was like not only the only Black girl like in class, but like I was like very small percentage of a Black person in the school, and so
it'd be difficult.
So,
right. Well, ladies, thank you guys so much for coming out and talking to us. We wish you guys the best of luck in your professional careers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we'll be right back right after the break.
Well, that concludes another episode of NOIR TV. As always, we want to thank you for the support, and a special thank you to our guest this evening. Until next time, I'm your host, Demi Vaughn.
And I'm Joe Riley. We'll see you guys next time.